Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Thursday, October the 1st, race number 9 at Pimlico. We kick off Preakness week with the Grade 3 Chick Lang Stakes, 3/4 of a mile for 3-year-olds. Before we get to the analysis, remember to head on over to shop.drf.com later this week for your Preakness Day betting strategies, including wagers on the Preakness, the Black-Eyed Susan, full card selections, wager recommendations. It should be a great day of racing with a tremendous supporting card. Let's take a look at the field for the Chick Lang. And remember, you can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Access them and handicap along with us. The 9 Yaupon is the deserving heavy favorite on the morning line. 4-2-5 with John Velasquez, Steve Asmussen at the helm. As we take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, Mike, Yaupon is expected to make the lead in here, and coming off 2 triple-digit buyer wins at Saratoga, he's going to be tough to catch.
He is. We'll just see what happens. They found a really nice spot for him here, I feel like, Dan. And, we'll see about the pace. I mean, going into his last race at Saratoga, I thought there was a chance that he would get involved on a hot pace that day and it would work against him. And as it turns out, he just outran that field to the lead and never looked back. If he does that in this spot, it feels like he's going to be very hard to beat.
A horse expected to rally from mid-pack, and the horse has done it successfully in the past, is the number 1 Lil Menace, who's, I believe, 6th in the early portion of the race in the Timeform US pace projector. Beaten favorite last time out at Charlestown. You would have thought the 7/8 of a mile configuration, 2 turns would work for him. He's a stakes winner around 2 turns and a multiple sprint winner. I just think he got too close to that fast pace last time.
I mean, I guess he did. It could have worked against him. On the other hand, Lebda was the horse who was on that lead, and he lasted for 3rd in there. This horse was nowhere. I just didn't think he ran that well. Listen, I don't know if I want any of the horses out of that Hilton Memorial anyway. There are 4 of them back in here, but it was certainly hard for me to talk myself into this horse.
Good segue to the Hilton Memorial winner, that being the number 2, Relentless Dancer, who has now won his last 2 races on dirt. Let's watch the Hilton Memorial. You're right, it was a fast pace. Lebda made the lead, then pitching Arie at a giant price made the lead, and here comes Relentless Dancer. The last run, the best run, Relentless Dancer, able to get up with an 85 buyer, but I kind of think that's what he is, Mike, a horse that runs buyers in the mid to high 80s. You just got to have to do better against this group.
Yeah, he is. Listen, he ran well in that race. He ran well when he won his prior dirt start 3 starts ago against a much weaker field. I just feel like he'd have to improve, Dan. And I also don't know how much I like this horse sprinting. I really feel like he's probably a better horse going longer.
Captain Bombastic is the number 3. He's won 2 out of his last 3 starts. All 3 wins have come against New York bred competition, however. Really liked the way he won the Mike Lee 3 starts back, going 7 furlongs. He was very confidently ridden all the way around there. And once he got a hole, he shot right on through. Let's watch the win in the New York Stallion Stakes. He was just much the best in here at 3-5. He's down towards the inside. He got involved in a duel with a pretty quick New York bred and Dream Bigger, and he asserts his class the final 1/8 of a mile.
Yeah, just too good for this horse. A really nice performance. You know what, Dan? He didn't even embarrass himself too back in the Grade 1 H. Allen Jerkins. He actually ran pretty well that day, too. He's just a good horse. This distance is fine for him. He has tactical speed. He's got some figures. They're not going to match up well with the favorite, but they match up well with everyone else. This horse makes some sense in this race.
Main question concerning the 4 Blackberry Wine is he truly a sprinter at heart? He did most of his damage in middle distance races. He got a big win at the fairgrounds in January, then was disqualified for a drug overage, came back, got a second maiden win at Oaklawn by giant lengths at over sloppy track. Let's watch his race. First start against winners. This was a race in which the pace was solid, but as you can see, there's no closing. Blackberry Wine and Shooters Shoot just basically went at it from the get-go, and Blackberry Wine is the favorite on the outside, just never could get past Shooters Shoot. This race came back fast, but it hasn't come back strong.
Yeah, there's a real question about how good it was, and you're right. Yeah, I mean, these 2 horses, it looks like they went a fast-paced dueling, but, they lasted the entire way around the track, and nobody else got involved. I don't know, Dan. I mean, this horse broke his maiden 3 times. It finally stuck the 3rd time because he kept getting disqualified. He feels like he's that kind of horse who likes to assert himself up on or near the lead going long. And I just don't know that he's going to be effective sprinting at all because he cannot make the lead in here.
He was injured after that race at Oaklawn and was sent back to the farm. This is a very interesting spot because you'd think they'd be able to find a 2X for him somewhere. Joe Sharp's putting him in here off a couple of quick workouts, and maybe he can stay a little bit close to the pace. He does have figures, at least, that indicate he can compete with some of these. Lebda's just a hard-trying horse. We saw him on that big pace in the Hilton last time out, and he paid the price. If he tries to go fast early here, well, Yaupon has the advantage of being outside of him, and I think Yaupon will be very happy sitting outside of Lebda. But if he does want to duel with Yaupon, Lebda's in trouble also.
Yeah, it feels like he's in a really tough spot. He actually ran pretty well last time, all things considered. But that was a 2-turn 7/8. He's really made his living in sort of middle distances. I don't know. I know he can sprint. He certainly did early on in his career, but it's been a while, Dan. Boy, he's going to have a tough time outrunning the favorite to the lead. And even if he does, that's probably not a great place to be.
Double Crown at a mini 2-race win streak snapped last time out when stepped up against graded competition for the first time. Let's watch the Smile Sprint. His first race off a 2-month layoff, and he's down towards the inside. He has a look at this at the 8th pole, and he flattens out, maybe feeling the effects of the layoff, maybe feeling the effects of the competition. It was nice to see that the Beyer speed figure took another step in the right direction.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, he did take a little bit of another step forward, but I didn't think he ran that well in there. It might not have been a great idea to go down to the rail at the top of the stretch, but it probably wasn't going to matter. Listen, I like this horse. I liked him from the start. I was waiting for him to take a big step forward somewhere in one of these races, and he just hasn't done it yet.
Dreams Untold in number 7, I think, has some talent. He's just a problem child behind the gate. He often throws a fit. Sometimes he doesn't break. I mean, folks in the Mid-Atlantic area remember his race in the Miracle Wood where he was 7-10 and he just threw a fit before the race, and then he missed the break and he made this gigantic wide run into the teeth of the pace, and he tired. And you're like, wow, this horse can do something if he ever figures it out. He's won 2 out of his last 3, including this race at Parks last time out against weaker restricted allowance foes. He was better in the gate. He stayed close to a slow pace. I wanted to see him kind of put the boots to the field at the end, but he earned a 92 Beyer. What more could you really ask for? This is kind of an interesting horse if you're against the favorite in any way.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I kind of agree with you too, though, Dan. You sort of wanted to see him really, lay it down against this field. He didn't really do that, but at the same time, he won the race very easily. He clearly has ability. He does have tactical speed, which I really like about him. And you know what? He's that rare Smarty Jones that can actually run.
Pitching, I knew that was coming. You always have to knock Smarty. They're one of my all-time favorites. Pitching, Arie reeled off 4 in a row towards the end of 2019 and into 2020. I thought ran well in the Hilton last time out. We saw him just get run down late at a giant price by Relentless Dancer, but he moved into the hottest part of the pace.
He ran well last time. It was definitely a step in the right direction. He will have to take another big step in the right direction here.
Yaupon's the only horse in the race with a triple-digit Beyer speed figure. He has 2 of them, and they're his last 2 races and 1 against graded stakes horses in the Amsterdam. Let's watch that race. It was a wet track, and Yaupon did seem to like it. He's turning into the lane in the lead. Basin, who won the Grade 1 hopeful at Saratoga in 2019, is going to try to take a shot at him. Yaupon just keeps right on going. He's a perfect 3 for 3. He's going to be on the lead, in my opinion, but if someone else like Lebda wants it, I think he can sit from off of it with no problem. He's simply the horse to beat.
He is, especially based on his last 2. I'll be honest that he's clearly good and he's run 2 fast races. I'm not anointing him yet. I don't know that I really feel like he's, some kind of superstar horse in the making. He's been fine, I think, in his 2, and all 3 of his races actually, but certainly in his last 2, he's run fine. I'm not blown away by this horse. I just feel like Asmussen's found a great spot for him here.
I wonder if the turn back is the key for the 10 Archon, a son of Into Mischief, who in his first 2 starts was placed very wisely by Michael Pino, found a great spot at Parks, found a nice spot at Delaware, popped a 90 Beyer in his second start, and they said, okay, let's try the Pegasus, a 2-turn race for his 3rd lifetime start. We watched that race right now. He set the pace. He really didn't get much of a breather. He's tired now, and the winner of this race, Pneumatic, well, he's going to the Preakness. The runner-up in this race, Jesus's team, came out of this race to run 3rd in the Jim Dandy with a 92, and he's going to the Preakness. Archon's going to turn back. I think he appreciates it, and there's a chance he can get up close to the pace in the second flight with a look at this turning into the stretch.
Yeah, I thought he was the best alternative to the favorite if you wanted one. I really liked his first 2 career starts, and I thought he ran fine in the Pegasus last time. I had this horse on top, Dan, right up until I hit send to let Sergio know what our picks were going to look like in the graphics, and then I switched it into the favorite on top. I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm using this horse, but I think it is going to be hard for him to beat Yaupon.
Let's throw our top picks up there. Yaupon is where you're going to go. He's certainly the horse to catch and beat. I'm a little fascinated by the placement for Blackberry Wine. I really wish he went by Shooter's Shoot last time out, but I'm not questioning his heart. He was in a bit of a battle earlier this year, and he did some good things there in that one of the races in which he was disqualified. He's got figs. I'm just curious to see if he can sprint. Yaupon's a horse I have to use. Archon is a horse I would use as well. 4, 9, 10, 7 for me. 9, 10, 6, 7 for Mike. It's the Grade 3 Chick Lang Stakes. We kick off Preakness week with our Thursday race of the day, and it has an approximate post time of 5:04 Eastern. Best of luck.